I'm on the way to the Carpenter estate in Newham that has been occupied by a group of women that have been made homeless by the council and have decided to occupy an empty, unused property.
And cans at a property fair.
I was trying to persuade people to come and invest in Newham so we could get jobs, and one of the things we've done is got 20,000 local people into jobs. That's the equivalent of 18% of our economically active residents. The way we do it, when people come and develop here, we get them to work through workplace so we can get people into work. So in my view, that's the answer.
So are they selling houses? Are you selling houses, Robin? Are you selling property? Were you selling property at Cairns?
Absolutely not.
No?
Absolutely not. No, absolutely not.
So are they coming to build buildings?
Absolutely not.
Or is it private buildings? Is it private homes?
Enforcers supply prevented accommodation they can't afford. We've tried to speak to Robin Wells on many occasions.
Because you were there last week and I talked to you last week.
Yeah, we had to wait till the end and we didn't get our questions finished. Robin, why can't you talk to us?
Robin, don't you think that's a bit rude? You dismissed us and you dismissed another young lady who has the same problem, and now you're walking away. What, are you scared of us or something? Are you actually scared of young mothers? Are you being serious? You don't want to talk to us, you dismiss us, you leave us till last and then you walk away, and now you're putting your head down in shame. I don't understand, I really don't.
So, another meaningful morning with our elected representatives.
Oh my God.
Newham Council have been trying to sell to private developers since before the Olympics. University College London were going to move into this site and put a university here, which would have largely been filled by students paying excess fees from overseas, and they would have resulted in this community being broken up and expelled from the area. Obviously that's back on the agenda now, with Newham Council trying to get the people off the estates. They can flog it to a developer. The Smithsonian are moving to this site. The V&A are moving to this area. So that's the agenda for Newham Council. They want to turn this into a kind of cultural quarter for international institutions, and we all know where they get their funding from. They get their funding from wealthy, from billionaire arms dealers and hedge fund managers who kind of launder their reputations by funding these massive cultural institutions.
I see.
My aim is... Alright.
Yeah, but you don't have to tear down the Carpenter estate. It's perfectly good housing.
Yeah.
But we get a lot more housing.
The buildings are
Sorry, we get an awful lot more housing.
The buildings are sound. You don't have to
that's
tear
not
them
true.
down.
That's not true.
They are. They're sound buildings.
I'm sorry,
There's nothing wrong with
the tower block.
All they need is regenerating.
I'm sorry, the tower blocks, when we originally looked at it, the tower blocks were almost as expensive to renovate as to build new ones, and we thought, well, you might as well get something much better. As for homes, any development in Carpenters should result in more jobs and a lot more homes.
Would there be social tenants though? No council. No, they won't.
We're defining it as subsidised tenancies. It isn't necessarily social, it's not affordable. It's somewhere in between, it depends.
Affordable housing is in no way affordable. Affordable housing is 80% of market rate. People are being forced out of London to Manchester, Hastings and Birmingham. Private rents are too expensive. People are having to move every 6 months to 12 years. It's insecure for children. Children are having to move schools. People are having to lose their jobs because they can't travel back. Robin Wells is always talking about how he's got people into work.
How about some housing for families?
Robin Wells, hear us say! Workers' homes are here to stay, here to fight. Social housing is our right, here to stay, here to...
So we're a group of mums, we're originally from a hostel called Focus E15. We were all being evicted from our hostel. Everybody in the hostel was there for a reason, suffering from domestic violence, come out of social services care, or being homeless on the street. We were all evicted and we were told that we had to find accommodation in Manchester, Hastings and Birmingham. We're all from East London, Stratford.
Right.
and corrupted by our local authority. This is the reason why we had to set up a separate campaign group, because it was quite clear to us that elements in the TMO were essentially undermining residents' ability to interact or have proper dialogue, consultation with the council. There are hundreds of units here that are fit for purpose and are ready for people to live in. But the council, they have a waiting list of about 32,000 people, are not allowing these hundreds of units to be occupied, and yet they claim that there are no places for people. So for over 6 years, there have been hundreds of units here empty. And the reason is because the council want to create the blight and create the spectre of regeneration to kind of make people feel like the community is in decline, and then speed up the whole redevelopment process.
As you can see, some of the units are sealed off. Again, these are perfectly viable pieces of sort of property where people can actually live.
So what they seem to be doing is saying, like,
This flat is totally habitable, so it's like a complete waste of property. There's homeless people and there's homes without people in them.
They just don't care. They really do not care about any of us on this estate. This, to me, this country has come to a point where it's just money. Money, money, money. It don't matter about you. It don't matter you've lived here all your life and put your whatever in. They don't care. They are not getting me out just like that. That's mine. That's my property. It is not theirs. And they're not going to take it just like that.
This tower block is Genesis Housing Association. So the housing associations are absolutely huge, and a lot of the big ones are coming into the area, and then a lot of the residents of the Carpenter's estate are getting asked to go into flats of the new housing association blocks. But when they're being informed of this, they're not being told all of their residents' rights and so on, tenants' rights, which means that we know there's been quite a few occasions people signing over into the housing association blocks and losing their secure tenancies. So this is basically the council backing basically these private landlords that dress themselves up as social housing but aren't, and in the course of it getting rid of the council tenants, which of course are costing them so much. So these huge tower blocks are like also a real threat to the estate.
Now we're arriving at the court for this sort of actually quite glum event. The court case ended a few hours ago. We received this from Kate, who's supporting the Focus E15 mothers. The council wanted us immediately evicted and were threatening us with various legal measures. We managed to win that we would leave when we wanted on 7th October and with absolutely no conditions attached, and they made no commitment to desist from their action. So that's a massive victory, isn't it? Plus, they had to commit, the council, to using the flats for temporary accommodation, which admits that the flats are fine for purpose, so they have to overcome their assertion. What's interesting, I thought, is that Mayor of Newham, Robin Wales, is elected to represent the people of that community, but he doesn't represent people, does he? Because finding homes and accommodation for them would be a first priority, suitable accommodation as well, not B&Bs. Would you want someone you love bundled off into a B&B or away from the people they grew up with, sent maybe elsewhere in the country? So if they're not representing the people they're elected to represent, who are they representing? They're representing corporate interests. In the case of the Carpenter estate, the people that would invest in that land were it to become available, because the people on the Carpenter estate that are still there, it looks like will soon be facing their own eviction issues. And this is like a continual issue nationally and internationally. Our governments and our elected officials don't represent us, they represent the interests of big business. So the people that truly represent us are activists like Jasmine and Sam from Focus E15, people that are prepared to face up to the system themselves.